Well, and then we have to take drugs to be stimulated, right, John?
That's the whole thing.
Viagra has grown like crazy, but I assume that some of it is because of that. You shut your brain down a bit, and then you've got to bring it back on, and so you take a drug to bring it back on.
John, in your latest book, you say that we live in a hyper-stimulated world where we are constantly reaching out and connecting with everyone and everything. But you also say that it robs us of our best selves. So how can someone resist the urge to constantly connect in today's technologically driven world, to connect with everyone and everything around them?
Yeah, the big symptom of that is shorter attention span. Everything has to be quick, lack of patience. We want things now, immediate gratification. Now, how's that going to affect a relationship? How's that going to affect your relationship with your children? How does it affect your relationship with yourself? You suddenly feel like I'm never doing enough, I should be doing more. So everybody's like overdriven to do more and more and more, connect with more and more people. And where's this coming from? What happens is the brain changes, and this has never happened in history. We've been able to be stimulated so much with information. It literally overstimulates the brain. Just like if you were looking in a bright light, your pupils would change. Okay, so basically, if it's in a dark room, your pupils expand. If it's in a bright light, your pupils contract. Well, when we're overstimulated, the brain contracts, and we actually lose neurons. Neurons that were being overstimulated. And the main thing that's being stimulated is a brain chemical called dopamine, which gives us focus and pleasure. So the outcome of it is that normal life is boring, flat, or we're constantly seeking more stimulation. It's kind of like you eat a meal, but you want to keep eating more. You know, somebody sends you a message, now you need more messages. You know, when a woman's talking, a man wants to get right to the point so we can move on to the next thing. And so what men have is a difficulty sustaining focus on things that are not stimulating a lot of dopamine. Now, if you're just sharing about what happened today, that's not really that exciting. And when you're in a relationship, and once the newness wears off, the beginning of the relationship is a dopamine stimulator, newness, novelness, but once routine sets in, it doesn't stimulate a lot of dopamine. And if our brain's missing the dopamine receptor sites due to all this overstimulation, our relationships are getting shorter. People are losing the passion, they're losing the interest. And the number one question I get from couples is, how do we keep the passion alive? How do we keep it going? We want that, but we're overstimulating ourselves and our lives. So we have to learn how to come back into balance.
Don't you think, though, that has something to do with this externality? That we're focused out here all the time, and we don't have the self-reflection, we don't take the quiet time. My partner and I wrote a book called Soul Solitude, taking time for our souls to catch up. And we don't often do that. You know, everybody isn't doing that. They're so busy meeting the needs of everything out here and the distractions. The other day I was in the Metropolitan Museum in New York, in this beautiful hall full of Roman and Greek artifacts. And I took a photograph of 3 people on a bench, each with their iPhones like this. Now, I was really hopeful they were accessing information about the artifacts, but I doubt it, right?
Probably not.
But it was that kind of thing that they're externally focused, and they never think about themselves anymore. They don't self-reflect, they don't know their values, their vision, their beliefs, their purpose. They don't see how their day fit that. At the end of the day, they don't say, did I demonstrate my values today? Or in the morning, how am I going to demonstrate my values?
In my book, In Love with Me, The 10 Steps to Successful Self-Love and Relationships, I talk one whole chapter about natural healing methods and what are those things. So I'd love to just open that up. But really, for me, it's being in nature. It's for many people, it's getting out. And we know our kids these days are not getting out. The statistic is they're 20% less to go outside than we were as kids, or, you know, the previous generations. And really that feeds kids' souls, I believe, to be outside, to be connected, and then us as adults as well.
I would even question that 20%. I see kids sitting in front of their computers all the time.
Well, and then we have to take drugs to be stimulated, right, John?
That's the whole thing.
Viagra has grown like crazy, but I assume that some of it is because of that. You shut your brain down a bit, and then you've got to bring it back on, and so you take a drug to bring it back on.
I think one of the natural remedies we might have is that people should get healthy parenting skills. That's a pretty natural remedy that
I'm completely with you.
Yeah.
I take girls, teenage girls between the ages of 13 to 16, every summer, every year. We take them to Nicaragua for 2 weeks and strip them of everything, electronics and all of that, and talk about these exact things of teaching them the skills, because they actually don't have them, of how to unplug, and the withdrawals that they go through are amazing.
It's amazing what you're saying.
It's fantastic.
One of my daughters, it was really sort of into the image. She was at 16. She was totally into how she looked and her body and everything had to be perfect and nobody was ever good enough. She went on one of those trips for 3 weeks and she came back a different person. It was amazing. It was, and it changed her whole life after that. It's a phenomenal experience.
So what we're saying is, while we're glad you watched this video, eat real food. Turn off your computer. Go outside. Stop watching us. Go away.
Get out of here.